Well, and we're going to have kind of a combined situation here today, because the rumor of the week involves Trump and foreign relations, essentially, although it also involves the American military. And what we've had, and this ties in nicely with my book, is the Clinton administration was one of the most anti-military administrations in the history of the United States. I don't have a good explanation for that. He was lucky. I call Bill Clinton the luckiest of all recent American presidents in terms of certain factors and things that happened while he was president that made him look much better than he was. And preceded by George H.W. Bush, who, in my opinion, was one of the unluckiest presidents, particularly in terms of the timing of the economic recovery in 1990 to 1992. But in any event, Trump was criticized last week, and it came from an interesting source. The Atlantic magazine, for many, many years, decades and decades, has been respected as one of the great outlets of writing in the United States. It's not a news magazine. It's considered a journalistic publication. And for some reason, they have faded as a popular magazine. Part of it is that many Americans just don't read, or they don't want to read more thoughtful articles. But the other is I think, a misdirection by the editors of Atlantic as it fades from the American front line, like many other famous publications, including the New York Times, which is basically a political rag today with virtually no credibility. And the Atlantic, unfortunately, is sliding down that same very slippery, very quick slope. So anyway, they ran an article, and it said that President Trump, when he was in France, was given the opportunity to go to a American burial ground on the east side of Paris, and that he made an improper statement regarding, oh, that would only be a bunch of losers if they died on the battlefield. And first of all, nobody who supports the military, and Trump has a virtually impeccable record in terms of supporting the military, refunding the military, making sure that they have the funds they need to be the modern, technologically advanced operation that they need to be, would ever believe that Trump would say something like that. But secondly, there was also an objective side to this, in that there were many, many witnesses with him. The president is always surrounded by people who said it's just totally untrue. It's just plain false. And you know, how many people do you need to talk to? So you say, oh, well, we found 3-4 anonymous sources who say this happened. And you've got 10 people on the record saying it didn't happen. On the record saying it didn't happen. Who am I going to believe? Who are the people in the American military who have seen Trump fund the military, support the military, show up for military activities? But I think it's a sad commentary on the American media, which even has influenced, again, a magazine respected for good writing. And again, not necessarily a news magazine, disgraced itself in such a manner. So I think it's been the rumor of the week that he said this, and I think it's being rapidly discredited. And I think the eventual loser of this will not be the author of the article, but will be the Atlantic magazine itself, which, like I said, has been slipping in the last decades or so, as many well-known publications from the last century have not survived into the digital age.
Very good. What a great show today, David. This has been very informative. I love that we can take a look and kind of just bring everything back to the facts. It's the facts that are counted these days, not the rumors, not anything else, just the facts. And I do want to remind everyone that the book, The Decline of America, is available on Amazon. You can get it immediately if you want the Kindle version, or you can have the print version shipped to you. I asked David before we started, Now, we all hear people talking about the other pandemic that was in 1918 around that time, and I asked him who was the president, and it was Woodrow Wilson, who's the first president mentioned in this book. So, if you want to see how another president handled a pandemic, read the part of the chapter on Woodrow Wilson and what he went through and how he handled it. And he did not get a good grade. And I don't know, have you graded Trump yet on his handling of the pandemic?
No, I haven't, and I haven't done it on purpose. And of course, that's become another controversy because of the Bob Woodward book. So maybe we'll talk about that next week.
Okay, sounds great. And also next week, we're going to talk about America and the war on poverty. So, be here, be for sure. One of the things we're considering is doing this on Friday afternoons at 2 o'clock versus Monday. So if you have opinion on that, we'd love to hear it. Put it in the comments below, please. And we look forward to seeing you again next Friday. So thank you, David. I will see you next week.
Thank you, Sandy. Take care.